Welcome to this episode of Positive Vibes Only with me, Renee Washington. Before we get started, I do want to apologize and say that I know it has been a while since our last episode. I'm sorry for that. I was unfortunately going through some health issues and unable to shoot the show. And although in show business they say the show must go on, well, without me, it cannot. So welcome back. I'm glad you joined me for this week. I do want to say, if you did not forget, last show I challenged you to go out and compliment someone. Not something that required a lot of time or energy, but just taking time to say something kind to someone else, whether it was their appearance or the work that they're doing, or just saying, have a great day. If you did not do that, don't worry, because I challenge you again on this show to go out and do something nice for someone else. Maybe they drop something and you offer to help, or you just help. Maybe you see them struggling with something and you offer a helping hand. Maybe you open a door for them. Some type of positive assistance, compliment. It could be with your words, it could be with your actions, but I challenge you to do it because you never know how far a smile, a compliment, or something kind may go. That being said, we're going to get into this show's topic, which is, how do you stay positive when everything around you is negative? So I know since the last show, well, the first two shows, which is all we've had so far, I've had people ask, well, how do you keep a positive vibe? How do you stay positive, keep a good attitude when everything around you is just negative, falling apart, and forcing you to scream and lose it? So I'm going to give you some of my tips. Of course, it's just my tips from what have worked for me in my experience. That's all this show really is. It's nothing factual or exact. It's just me sharing my experiences for what worked with me, and maybe it'll help you in what you're going through. So that being said, one thing I have learned is to take everything and put it into perspective. I think that's a huge thing. So a lot of times, for instance, when you're driving on the road, someone honks at you, someone passes you, the first instinct is to want to do it back. And I know road rage is a terrible thing, and I have definitely had my share of road rage. But why? Why chase that person down, tailgate them, honk at them, when maybe they're just going through something, and two wrongs do not make a right? And I know that I've gotten into many discussions about, well, if someone does something to you, why not do it back? But that's exactly what the show is about. Don't do it back. Change your response to an action to be positive and not feed into that negativity. So the first thing that I say is put everything into perspective. Always keep in mind, you don't know what the other person is going through. They may be having a bad day. Someone may have just died. They may have just lost their job. These are all extreme, of course. Maybe they're having insecurity issues. Maybe they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, which we all know is a thing. Maybe they just are stressed out because work or school or family, something is really getting to them, and mentally they just feel like they're going to collapse. And so they act out on it. That is why I challenged you guys to do something positive, because you don't know what someone's going through. And I once heard a story about a person that committed suicide, and in their suicide note they wrote, "If one person smiles at me before I get to this bridge, I will not jump off." They jumped off, meaning no one smiled at them. And that simple smile may have saved that person's life. Again, I know that's an extreme, but you just never know how far a small act of kindness goes. So on the flip side, the same thing with that negativity. Someone does something bad to you. Someone attacks you. Someone judges you. Someone insults you. Something. Or physical action. Road rage. Of course, if someone puts their hands on you, that's a whole different story. And you cannot get slapped or get attacked and then turn around and smile at a person. But I am saying, if something bad happens to you, maybe you don't like something someone said, instead of just jumping to reacting with a negative response of barking back at them, maybe say, "Hey, I don't like what you just said to me. Next time, please don't say that." Or a constructive response. Letting them know, and I hate to say this, it's so basic, how you feel. But it's true. "I don't like what you said because." Very true. Or just ignore them. Now you learned how that person really thinks about you. Stop dealing with them. We have this insane desire to be liked by everyone, when the truth is, who cares if someone likes you or not? If you have to work with someone and they're making comments to you all the time, or you see them giving you these looks or making snide remarks, don't deal with them. You don't have to like each other to work together or be in school together and be best friends. Just go about your business, and now you know what that person really thinks about you, and you don't have to deal with them. Done. That's one less person in your life. constantly giving you negative vibes, that's one less person in your life that doesn't really have your best interests at heart. Don't deal with them. The next thing I learned is a way to cope or manage any stressful feelings. So this, of course, is completely up to you. What I have learned that actually really helped me is when I'm very stressed out, I listen to gospel music, and I actually also listen to nature sounds. So I have on my Pandora, I actually have 2 stations, Kirk Franklin Radio, love Kirk Franklin, but it has a variety of gospel music, and I have found so much, because I'm a religious person, when things are getting tough, to turn to God. Everybody, I'm not trying to force you to whatever into my religion, but whatever that looks like for you, your higher being that you worship, turn to that, to your God. Or if you don't believe in God, of course, whole different issue. Whole different situation. But I have learned to turn to God when things get rough, because for me, at the end of the day, I know when to let go and let God, so to speak. I know when to put all my trust in Him and understand that things are going to work out in His time according to His plan, and I have to trust that. So I listen to gospel music. I also listen to, like I said, nature sounds. So another station I have is literally nature sounds, something like that. And it is the most peaceful music. And what actually got me hooked on it is because I get massages pretty regularly at Hand and Stone. And Hand and Stone plays nice, relaxing, calming music. And I saw that when I was getting my massage, before I even started getting my massage and I just heard the music, I instantly felt more relaxed. So I started doing that simple times, like when I'm taking a shower, when I'm getting dressed, when I'm going to sleep. That's something that has really helped me late at night when I can't sleep. Just put on some nice soothing, it's classical music essentially, but it's the sounds of the waves and the seagulls and pianos and really light flutes and things like that. Nice, light, calming sounds. I love rap music and R&B. I love to sing, all of that. But sometimes you need something that's just a little more calming and soothing. On the flip side, I do know a lot of people, and myself included, when it depends on the mood, when sometimes you need to just belt out a song and sing. Or sometimes you need to just listen to one of the latest, most popular songs or whatever, and just rap, just dance, just get into the music. So the music-wise, that all varies based on how you're feeling, what you're feeling. So a stressful mood for me is more calming music. Or a stressful mood for me when I'm feeling like everything's going wrong is to turn to God. Or to get hyped up maybe before a workout, or back when I used to be an athlete, a game. I wouldn't listen to classical music. I'd be listening to, some Meek Mill or something like that, something really upbeat to get me going. That's one thing. Another thing I started doing is I have a handy dandy notebook. No, I really do have a journal, and I don't write in it every day. It's not a diary. But sometimes when I'm feeling like it, I just write. I write whatever comes to mind. And it's funny because when I start writing, I'm like, oh, what am I going to say? And then like 5-10 minutes later, I have pages and pages of stuff that I wrote down, just like how I'm feeling and things like that. So it's really funny because the pen to paper mentality really works. When you don't know what's going on, or you can't put your thoughts into, or you can't process what you're thinking, sometimes the best thing is to write them down, and you will actually see yourself starting to write and think through what's going on. Another thing that I do is reading. And again, I don't read all the time. I was never even a big reader. Growing up, I used to hate when we were assigned reading books, but now I really value the information that comes from reading a good book. So I read books that are inspirational. I don't really read I do read some biographies and things and autobiographies, but mostly inspirational books. I love books by T.D. Jakes and Steve Harvey, different people like that have some inspirational story that's it's not all about them, but they do bring in their life experiences to help inspire you to chase your dream or your gift or figure out your purpose in life. Reading. So there are, like I said, a ton of things that can help you out when you are dealing with this negativity. But the first thing all starts up here with you changing your perspective on how you're going to react. And I've also learned to just be more positive in general. So I walk through life like the flower child that I am called, but it's a real thing. I go into a situation positively. I don't go into it judging people. And so when I do get that negativity, or when someone makes a comment, I have people that still to this day will say something about the way I look or how I talk or how I act. I don't care, because I'm not out to try to make friends all the time. I'm not out to be liked. I don't care how people really view me, as long as at the end of the day I'm happy with myself. So that's where I started. I was very insecure growing up. I had all types of issues where I just kind of always felt like I was to blame. I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't curvy enough, I wasn't smart enough, I didn't have enough friends, I didn't have enough guys like me, blah blah blah, typical teenage issues. But I just changed my perspective and really started to love myself. And that's where it all begins. If you can love yourself and walk out and not care about what other people think about you, then everything becomes easier. Everything else becomes easier. So stop worrying about what you're wearing or oh, who's looking at me? Oh God, I don't want them to hear me. Who cares? You do you. That's the simplest way I can put it. Enjoy your life, enjoy yourself, and then everything else starts to come together. So for me, the biggest things that I did, changing my perspective, which started with loving myself, being able to look in the mirror at myself and say, I'm pretty, I'm smart, I'm talented at whatever, I know how to do my job, I know how to coach, I know how to play soccer, I know how to be a reporter, I can tell a story, all of those things, and then turning to God for me, which is what really helped, and really, really finding myself. And that's where everything else started to fall in place. Once I had that confidence, like it's me and God versus the world. You're either on my team or I don't care about you. I'm not going to wish you any negativity. I'm going to wish you the best of luck, but I'm going to be over here doing my thing. And that's how everything really started to change. So the trick to a positive response starts with you. How do you see things? How do you see the world? Stop judging people. Stop, going around insulting people. Stop joining in when people are talking about someone else. Don't do that. Don't even get yourself in those negative environments, because misery enjoys company. And the same thing for negativity. What you sow, you reap. What you constantly put out, you get back. If you put out positive vibes, you get it right back. If you're walking around, I'm not saying you have to walk around with a smile glued to your face, but walk around upbeat. It's another day. It's another chance for you to live, which we cannot take for granted. Not everyone wakes up every day. Another chance, God willing, you have 2 arms and 2 legs. You can see, you can hear, you have family around you that loves you, you have a job, or you're pursuing an education. Whatever you have in your life that you have going on for you is a blessing. And the biggest thing that I learned, which really made me appreciate myself, is the same things that you take for granted, someone else is praying for. So I would take for granted the fact that I knew how to play soccer very well. I was very smart. I had a loving family because I was so worried about the fact that I didn't have all these boyfriends and I wasn't the most popular or the this, that, and third. I stopped thinking about all the things I didn't have and started appreciating all the things I do have. And once you change your mindset to be more appreciative of the gifts that God or your God, whatever your God, whoever your God is, gave you, you will start to appreciate life. And that's the difference between negativity and positive vibes. So, my challenge to you, if you didn't catch on by now, is to be thankful. Wake up in the morning and don't focus on the things you don't have. Worry about all the great things that you do have. The bed you woke up in, the clothes you have on your body, the food you're going to eat for breakfast and then make for lunch, the dinner you're going to come home to, the people that you have in your life that care about you, that love you and respect you, that help you out every day to be a better person. Those are all things that you cannot take for granted because it's not a given. Positive vibes, moving forward, starting today, I challenge you to go out and think positively and enjoy and appreciate the things you have in your life right now. That's my challenge. Good luck. I'll see you next show. Adios.